All right, the record is on to YouTube now. So let's go back to this. All right, just talking about this model, there's a level one where you're just concerned about your own actions, right? There's level two where you are concerned about emotions, your own emotions. There's level three where you are concerned about just the emotions of other people. And there's level four where you are supposed to be concerned about the emotions and actions of all the, you're concerned of everything. Was pretty much just the actions, your actions and the action of everybody that affects your bottom line. Keyword is the fact that you are ensuring that whatever it is that you want to come to pass for you comes to pass. Are we together?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, great. Let's move on to the next slide here. And here also, just to reiterate also, is the fact that when you do that, what you're concerned about is your life, and God will never hold you responsible for the things you cannot do. Life and God only holds you responsible for the things you can do, not the things you cannot do. Toba, you're welcome. So, that's represented by these two circles here. This was something put together in by Stephen Covey in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Right. So when you put your energy around things you can do, that circle expands and reduces the things you cannot do. But if you are too focused on the things you cannot do, the amount of things you can do reduces, and the number of things that you cannot do increases, right? So just talking about the power of being able to make the best or focus on your strengths, as it were. Peter Drucker would say that we cannot build excellence on our weaknesses. We can only build excellence on our strengths, right? So to become unstoppable, you have to be someone that majors in the major and minor in the minor, right? The major are the things you can do, things that you are strong at. The minor are the things that you're not that strong at. Typically, you'll get someone else to do it who is probably better able to do that than yourself. So you maximize your strength, you maximize your resource to get the biggest value out of what you can do, right? So the next thing is that, which is closely related to the first, is the fact that if you're going to be unstoppable, then you have to be someone that does not give excuse, right? There's no place for excuses for someone that is unstoppable, right? Everything about your life stops at your desk. You cannot give it to someone else, right? You have to be the one to take full ownership of your life, right? Otherwise, you're going to have hindrances, right? Because not everybody, no matter how close, will see things the way you see it. You are the one that sees the picture of where you want to go. You are the one that has the inner conviction of where you're going to. So along with that is the responsibility for your journey. Obviously, you are going to take counsel from people around, but you can't live 100% on that because they don't have the conviction that you have, right? They can only help you to a certain level. Then it's going to be up to you and your conviction. All right. The other part of it is that you must not have fear, right? The person that wants to be unstoppable must be someone that is not fearful. Because if you're fearful, there'll be every reason to make you fear, to make you turn back from that which you are proposed to do, right? You have to be distant from fear. You have to take on faith, not fear, if you want to be unstoppable, right? Because you have to be undoubted. You have to more like do things that might be scary, You do things out of courage, even though you are scared, but you are still going along because you're convinced that's what God will have you do, right? All right.
Right.
Stop me at any time if you have a question or anything. But then unstoppable means no fear, right? And I've said that repeatedly, that one of the biggest things God taught me coming from last year is not to fear in anything. And that has worked a lot of miracles, a lot of breakthroughs, for me. The mere fact that in the face of seeming things that would typically have made me uneasy, I'm able to keep my cool, right? And things just seem to work out well, right? So if you're going to be unstoppable, you have to be someone that begins to learn not to be controlled by your fear. Fear will come knocking at your door, right? It knocks on everybody's door. The difference is whether you open your door to it or not, right? So the next thing is, to be unstoppable, you have to be someone that uh, people might consider to be crazy and different. Crazy because you are not necessarily seeing things the way everybody is seeing it. And everybody is not necessarily seeing the things the way you are seeing it. Because you are the one that is seeing the vision. To other people, what you are doing might be strange, right? And you are typically fitted for your vision, right? Which is not necessarily what every other person is seeing, right? You are probably seeing life 10 years from now. People are just seeing life 10 years behind all, only seeing today. So every other person, you are crazy, you are different. But if you are convinced about what you are set about to do, then you have to see beyond what people are saying. All right. So I'm going to go on from that. And for every one of this, we can give examples. And opera, this is a word from opera rare, and it's all about what your inner voice, right? Oprah would, another quote from her would say that, if she had known that being herself will make her a lot of money, she would have started living herself long time before, right? She attributes her wealth, her riches, and to the fact that she's living her own life. She's living her true self, right? And if you're going to be unstoppable, you have to have a congruency, a place where there's an equilibrium, where you are in agreement with who you are on the inside. Not that you are one person on the inside and you're living a different person on the outside. The power of your life is dependent on the congruency, the agreement between who you are on the outside and who you are on the inside. And this is just a quote by Rob Silverman, made popular by Steve Jobs. Just talking about that. It's the crazy ones, it's the misfits that typically change the world. Those that just seemingly conform to every other thing that's going on, don't make changes, they don't rock the boat, they don't make life necessarily better. They're just pretty much just going with the flow. For you to make a difference in life, you might have to go against the flow. You might have to go against the norm because you are seeing something every other person is not seeing. The next thing after that is that if you want to be unstoppable, then you have to be someone that wants to make a difference in the world. That's what it says, put a dent in the universe. You want to make a difference. You are not satisfied with the status quo. You think that things can be made better. And this is the way a lot of people have made money from this, right? We see the Rolls Royce today, but Rolls Royce is not any genuine design. The cars were already made by the time Rolls came in to work on cars. He just saw that maybe the engine could made a little better, less noisy. And by the time he made modifications to the engines that were existing to meet what he could see he wanted, it's making him a lot of money today. Rolls Royce is a big company today, and they're making highbrow cars, and their engines are used for airplanes and all of that. All right, the next thing is, if we want to be unstoppable, then we have to be able to see what is it that we want. We have to be able to see ourselves doing the things that we want. Visualization is, and there are several words for visualization. There's positive imaging. Is pretty much being able to see yourself doing the thing that you want to do in the future. being able to see yourself walking in it, being able to feel the emotion, pretty much being able to get your being to be in agreement with what is it that you want in your life. And the next one is talking about you need to do exercise. When we do exercise, we pretty much clear our minds. One thing that I've been observed is the fact that the brain still can grow capacity. When you do exercise regularly and in the right portion, your brain is still growing. It creates an opportunity where your brain is still able to grow. And so, along with the fact that it clears your mind and helps you be able to think deeply and clearly, so you'll have to be someone that does exercise so you can get that benefit, whereby you're able to clarify things, you're able to have time of thinking and clear your thoughts. The next one is just talking about the fact that if you want to be unstoppable, then you have to be someone that reads. We typically would say leaders are readers, right? So if you to be unstoppable, you have to know more, right? Because otherwise, if you don't know more, then anybody can easily push you aside. But the more you know, the more you're able to apply, the closer you are to your dream, and the more respect people will give you. Because once you open your mouth to talk, you're telling people already who you are, and depending on what comes out of your mouth, will determine whether they respect you or they don't. So it helps to read because then gives you a foundation from which you can interact or relate with the world. Then the other thing is there's a place where you are never satisfied, right? If you're going to be unstoppable, you have to be someone that is always hungry for more, right? Because your hunger will determine what you go for, right? Sometimes you need to create that hunger when there is no reason to create it. You can create it, right? Like for us, for my farm, we have a project whereby we want to modernize a village. That gives us a reason, as it were, to hunger for more from our farm. We know that the money that's coming out from there is to do good. It's not just for our own ego alone, but because we have set that goal to be a blessing to other people, it gives us a reason or an extra reason, as it were, to make good money so that we can accomplish that which we have set for ourselves. Just gives you the energy to seek for more. Also, we will need to be focused and intense and being able to be focused, right? Focus is power. What you focus on will get your attention. What you focus on is what you, in a sense, worship. When you focus on, it gives you clarity. When you focus, you get clarity. When you focus, you're able to get things done, and you're able to see things. You're able to your focus is also a message to your subconscious mind. You send it on a message and it goes out there to give you the information that would help you along your journey, right? So talking about focus, you don't want to spread yourself thin, right? You need to know what is it that you want to do and pursue it. You cannot be a jack of all trades, right? You need to know the things, the 1, 2, 3 things that you want to chase after and focus on it, because focus is power. Focus will help you accomplish it. But if you're all spread thin, then you might not accomplish any of that. Well, the other part here is the fact it's talking about mapping your mind, right? That is pretty much talking about the need for systems, right? There's only one of you. And if you don't create a system whereby you don't have to be in several places at the same time, you're just going to walk yourself out, right? When we do systems to institutionalize processes, right? You do it so that when you're not there, people will know what to do. So when you map your mind, you're thinking about the thing that you want to get done, and you break it into steps, you break it into branches that are required to make it work. And what you have mapped in your mind, you can then implement by putting systems in place to achieve that which you want to. Because as your company grows, or whatever you're doing grows, it will demand your attention, and you cannot be in more places, too many places at once. So you want to create a system that will similarly replicate you and make things work without you having to burn yourself out. Well, the next one there is the need to discover purpose, which is really the last thing that we have, right? Because in all that you do, for you to be unstoppable, you must know your purpose. And that still goes back to the fact that when I know my purpose, then I know what to say yes to and what to say no to. But if I don't know my purpose, then I'm almost like saying yes to everything, which might just get me burnt out without really making a difference in life. All right. So that's the last slide. Any question, anything you want me to go over again on what we've discussed so far?
No.
No. All right. Great. How about Anne? Is it no also?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome. Great.